Ritidian original landowners like Chris Bordallo still do not support H.R. 4402.
Well, initially, I'd like to say that, of course, H.R. 4402 should have never been proposed and submitted without a public hearing here on Guam. That was the revised language provided by DOD and DOI. I mean, I personally and the families personally feel that it shows that it could have been introduced without even the Congresswoman's bill initially.
Bordallo is referring to draft compromise language between the Navy and the Department of the Interior, which oversees the Fish and Wildlife Service. As we reported, the two are at odds because the firing range and designation of the surface danger zone is in conflict with the mission of and the goal of the wildlife refuge at Ritidian. According to a letter to island leaders from Congresswoman Madeleine Bordallo over the concerns of H.R. 4402, the compromise between DOI and the Navy includes the possible relocation and reconstruction of the existing structures and facilities of the refuge.
But I just think that the 4402 is problematic right now.
Speaker Judy Wampat, in a response letter to Bordallo, raised several questions over legal impediments and how this revised compromise language would address it, along with impacts to the wildlife refuge.
The third, of course, is nothing is being said at all, even in this compromise, about the access to families and others to the Ritidian area. And what's really even very more disturbing, because in the language of the SEIS, it says that they would determine, as may be necessary. So that means there's nothing guaranteed in terms of whether it's fixed 39 weeks of the year or, could it be less?
Overall, she says her hesitancy in support of H.R. 4402 is that it was introduced without public consultation while undermining the NEPA process.
I think it would be that I was very hesitant in terms of supporting H.R. 4402, and that the best thing would be probably just to withdraw the bill until we go through the whole process, reading and providing comments on the SEIS before we have to deal with something else.
Wampat adds H.R. 4402 is unfair to the people of Guam. She says the island needs greater guarantees that concrete actions will be taken to mitigate the impact at Ritidian, adding the revised language does not address the concerns of original landowners, as it still keeps the alternative location for the refuge in the area of the current refuge. Bordallo, meanwhile, says he agrees with Wampat that H.R. 4402 shouldn't move forward, adding the concerns not only from the Ritidian families, but all of the people of Guam should be heard first.
And, this compromise between the two agencies only shows that this land is of no use to the fish and wildlife anymore, with the Navy now introducing the language that they are willing to maintain the activities that are going to be conducted down at Ritidian. In the revised language, it also states that, they are going to administer whether the access to Ritidian would be possible.
As we reported, the Congresswoman is hoping to get the language of H.R. 4402 included in the 2015 National Defense Authorization Act, which goes up for markup tomorrow Guam time. You can read Wampat and Bordallo's letter on our website. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Ken Quintaniza.